They were so disappointed. They were stood there in disbelief. Manchester United wilted and were flaky in that second half. They had no idea how to get back in that game. They made 5 substitutions that didn't have any impact. In fact, they got worse. It was a really bad night, but I felt down about Manchester United for some time.
You weren't surprised, were you, about last night?
Wasn't surprised at all. I mean, I got some criticism from Manchester United fans on social media after the Tottenham game on Saturday. I went back in our studio and was critical of the team and was delighted with what I'd seen with Cristiano Ronaldo's hat-trick. He lit up the stadium and the fans went home buzzing. But I couldn't help thinking, that performance is going to get you beat on Tuesday. I kept thinking it all night, all Sunday. They're going to get beat. I never thought for 1 second before that game. I saw a couple of ex-players on the touchline that I played with before the game, and I said, they'll get beat. I'm worried they'll get beat because I think they'll be in training, that lot, on Sunday and Monday, telling themselves that they're all right because they beat Tottenham and they're in great shape and Cristiano scored a hat-trick and their confidence is back. But they're kidding themselves if they think that level of performance against Tottenham was going to be able to do anything against Atletico Madrid, a hardened, warrior-type team that have been through the mill with a manager who knows how to win, been round the block, and that was never going to be good enough. And I have to say, at the end, it was just hope. I was sat there at the end thinking, even that last corner, they'll score. Manchester United always score. But they don't anymore. They don't score anymore. Because the reality of it is that something's missing. Something big is missing. And it comes from the top. I've said before about owners, it comes from the top. We heard Joel Glazer say some time ago he's going to engage with the fans. Flights are open, Joel. You can get to Manchester. Let's see you over here. Let's go and see you sort of talk to the fans properly. Explain that vision. You've got a new CEO in place, but you can't just leave it to the new CEO. You've got to come over. He said off the back of the Super League, he was going to change the way he operated the club, and he was going to come over and see the fans. He's not done. Not that I know of, anyway, unless he slipped in without me knowing. And not many people slip into Manchester without me knowing.
Absolutely.
So, you know, or without the journalists knowing for sure. So I have to say, I think that for me, it comes from the top. They sent Tom Brady over, which was nice on Saturday, but it'd be nice if they sent themselves over. I have to say that, you know, it was a bad night for Manchester United. However, I don't know why. I said it to you before the game. I think we were talking about it. I still think they could finish 4th. Whether that's wild hope, whether that's the sort of, if you like, the devil in me, I just still feel like Manchester United could finish 4th and Arsenal might not do it. It wouldn't surprise me if they didn't, and it wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal finished 4th, and you'd have to say, well done to them, they deserve it. But it also wouldn't surprise me. If I was having a tenner, which I don't bet, I would probably say I'd go for United. I don't know why. I just have something about them that makes me feel that they'll go and do it.
You own a football club, you can't bet.
No, I wouldn't. Well, I wouldn't bet. Anyway, I don't bet. But you're right. You have a good point, Martin. Actually, no. But I was so disappointed last night. I've come out of it today a little bit because it was what I expected. They've got a period of time now without football, Manchester United. I think that's helpful. I think if they were going to Anfield on Sunday, I mean, I wouldn't like the idea of that. So that game's off, which I think's helpful. Not saying that they'll win it next time round, but they'll surely be in a better position than they would have been having been knocked out of Europe. At least it allows them to regroup. I think the fact that there is some certainty that Ralf Rangnick won't get the job, and that's nothing to do with Ralf Rangnick and the job that he's done. I don't think any of what's happened last night or anything before that is anything to do with him. It's been appalling all season. When Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the manager and he's not been able to improve it, Ralf Rangnick, but I won't put that down to him. I do remove him from it, but what I do say is that it's in no doubt that Manchester United need a new manager, but they also need to look very hard above that, very hard. You've got some smart operators in the clubs that they're up against, not just Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola. Yes, they might set the tone, they're the front men in the band, but you need the bass player, you need the lead guitarist.
You need the men who
need the drummer.
You need the men who found Martinelli, the men who found Diaz. Because that kind of thing isn't happening.
It's unbelievable that Diaz. I mean, Diaz was going to Tottenham. He's then gone to Liverpool. There's not even been a mention of him going to Manchester United. Manchester United are going to lose Cavani at the end of the season. They're potentially probably going to lose Pogba. They've lost Greenwood. Rashford's out of form. Martial's gone to Seville, but probably go at the end of the season. So you think they're going to need 2 or 3 at the end of the season in those positions, and they weren't even mentioned. And then you watch that lad. I mean, he's not had his best game tonight, Diaz. But you watch him in the Carabao Cup final, and I watched him at Saturday at Brighton, and I watched him last week. Thinking, what a player he is! Tough, aggressive, works hard, creates chances. his reaction when they give the ball away is unbelievable. Sprints back. And, yeah, the recruitment, I have to say, has been, disappointing for a long time. I think it's been better in the last 2 or 3 years. I know some people will disagree with that. I don't think anybody at the time thought they were bad signings when they signed Varane or Sancho or Cristiano Ronaldo. I think everybody thought they were good signings, and I agree, I thought they were good signings. So there is something about the coaching aspect which needs to be put right, but there's also an element of culture and belief and feeling that it's a proper football club that does things the best, does things the right way, that's an elite operator, that thinks about excellence all the time. What is excellence? What does excellence look like in a football sense? That means doing everything well. Everything well. Not just the bits that sort of everyone sees on the pitch, which is not doing well at this moment in time. You've got to do everything well behind the scenes. You've got to treat people well. You've got to know everybody's name. You've got to create that feeling that there is a family there, that's that togetherness. That's what Pep has created at Manchester City with Khaldoon and with obviously Soriano and Begiristain, and that's what Jurgen Klopp and the owners at Liverpool have created. They've created that spirit. I said 4 years ago, when you feel it in the ground, that connection between the bench, the team, the fans and the director's box, you get that right, and you've got one hell of a powerful football club.